Previously on ETFW. In our last episode, we took to the breathtaking rainforests of Mt Tamborine in search of one of its many spectacular waterfalls. Whilst there, we began our search for a location called Curtis Falls. My journey took me through an enormous rainforest that dwarfed over me before finally opening up into a magical waterfall. Should you wish to view this episode, there will be a card at the top of the screen which will take you to it. In this episode, we head back to Mt Tamborine, although this time chasing something a little bit different. In this episode, we journey to a beautiful Victorian-style hotel with a rich history, in search of answers and evidence behind its many mysterious rumours. This is ETFW. Follow me as I explore the Manor. Stories. We all tell them. Some small, some large, some important, some not. But without them, what are our memories? What good are those impactful moments in your life if you could never share them with anyone else? I believe stories are important, and today I would like to tell you one. But this story isn't about me. Instead, someone I've never met. Someone I will never meet. Yet somehow I am here sharing it with you all. Once upon a time, there sat a grand manor, deep inside the forest on top of Mt Tamborine. The manor, slowly succumbing to nature, was abandoned and left to wither away slowly, decaying until its foundation was no more. That was, however, the intention by the men who set about building it. The year was approximately 1882. A group of Brisbane's businessmen set out to create what was known as a syndicate house. A house that was to be the first tourist venue on top of Mt Tamborine, a beautiful mountain with breathtaking scenic views, jaw-dropping waterfalls and dwarfing rainforests. The men intended for tourism to boom in this area in the coming years, so they set about the construction of the syndicate house. Unfortunately for them, the access to Mt Tamborine at the time was rather difficult, with no sealed road to and from the base of the mountain. Because of this, their plans failed. The men packed up their belongings and headed back to Brisbane, abandoning the syndicate house and leaving it for nature to reclaim. That is, however, until a curious little girl would stumble upon it many years later. Emily Jane, daughter of Edmund and Mary, was born in 1888. She lived in a small home in Curtis Creek, and her family was one of the first settlers to take up permanent residence on Mt Tamborine. They lived in a common home with concrete slab walls and a shingled roof. However, the small home which they resided in Curtis Creek was fast becoming too small for their expanding family. For many years, Emily was told stories about a decaying house lost inside the forest. But they were just that, stories, and nothing more. No one seemed to actually know the true whereabouts of this mysterious house from a bygone era. For years, Emily dreamed about the abandoned manor. However, it wasn't until Mary was around 13 years old that she set out with her brothers and sister in search of the abandoned manor. For days they made their way through the dense forest, searching far and wide until eventually stumbling across what would have been a clearing many years before. They made their way through the clearing, and there it was. To Emily, it was the most beautiful home she had ever laid eyes on. Rushing home with pure joy and excitement, Emily forced her father to come with her to the abandoned manor. There must have been something captivating about its decaying presence, because shortly after, Emily's father went out to find the original owners to negotiate a price to buy the manor, which he did for a sum of £20. Emily's father, although not a carpenter by trade, was a very practical man. He set about restoring the grand manor piece by piece until it resembled its former self in its early days. It then took on the name the Curtis Home. Following the renovation of the Curtis home, construction began on an all-weather bitumen road that went from Brisbane to Mt Tamborine. The road took 2 years to complete, was officially opened in 1924, finally opening up an easy route for those wishing to visit Mt Tamborine. Tourism on the mountain was steadily increasing, and those visiting were seeking and in need of accommodation. Emily, who at the time was caring for her aging mother, saw an opportunity to convert a few of the rooms in their home to accommodate the travelling tourist. The idea also meant that the family would have a little extra money, which was much needed at the time. So with her parents' permission, she set about taking bookings and offering accommodation to those travelling to the mountain. 1926. Around 2 years had passed since Emily had converted part of the old syndicate home into accommodation. Business on the mountain was booming, and the demand for more accommodation was knocking on the door. Emily's father decided that the syndicate home was better off in his daughter's hands. So he went about the construction of a smaller cottage, where he would move in with his wife and youngest daughter May. At this time, Emily's husband, Jim, who was a building contractor and who also owned 10 acres of land on top of Long Road, sparked an idea to move the syndicate home to the larger and more open land which he owned. This would mean that they could expand the syndicate home, and with that, expand their business. So, the couple went about demolishing the original home and rebuilding it on Long Road, where it still sits today. Over the many years, the manor has taken on thousands of guests and has become one of the most beloved hotels which resides on Mt Tamborine. Throughout the years, Emily would continue to stay and care for the hotel until her late years. Emily spent a number of her declining years confined to a wheelchair and sadly passed away in 1970, aged 82. Emily had a great love for her mountain and was one of the first white children to be born there. Of Jim and Emily, one could only say that their home was their castle. They both loved it with all their heart and soul. So much in fact, that as each one passed away, their family felt that they would be happiest to stay on their beloved hilltop. So, their ashes were scattered in the garden. And this is where the rumours began. For many years, guests told of strange happenings within the hotel, mysterious events which could not be explained. Room number 9, which is believed to be the most active room in the hotel, even had a couple evacuate the room in the early hours of the morning after all their light bulbs suddenly exploded. Ghost tours once ran at the hotel, and to this day, many still see and report on the unusual experiences they encounter while staying in the manor. Now I'm kind of creeping out a little bit. You always get that feeling right before you get there. It's that sort of uneasy feeling you get. It's like excitement, it's a little bit of nerves, fear. I don't know what to expect. Man, this is a cool building. We'll go check in, get our bags upstairs, bring the camera out, I'll show you guys around. Man, tonight is going to be sick. This is going to be a really cool video.
Stillness over the water, the traumatized heavy waters. I used to be so young and free, but now I'm bound by the bonds that be. I know what I should do, and I've known it for a long time, and I've only gotta do it. Brain is formed by choices before standing by the water. Seashore set the sails lower, the bridge, the princess still is sleeping. Serene unearthly winds are blowing, stones and dirt and clear eyes throwing. Clarity has vanished like some last breath on earth. Breathe my name. Breathe my name. It has been said, it's just a
This is sick. I'm going to do some cinematics. I'm going to show you guys this place, show you everything. It's absolutely beautiful here. Creepy, but beautiful. Oh man, what a cool feeling here. This is sick. I'm definitely nervous. I'm definitely freaking out a little bit because I'm going to be here all completely on my own tonight, investigating and seeing if I can pick up anything, but so far this is wild. Oh man, I'm excited. Alrighty, let's do it. This is pretty comfortable, I'm not gonna lie. I just finished a walk around outside, doing a bit of B-roll photos, having a good look at the place. It's pretty damn cool here. It's so peaceful, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's kind of crazy that I think I'm the only person here. There might only be one other person here, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen anyone yet. It's been just me. So with any luck, yeah, like I said, I might be the only person here tonight, which is great. They did give me room 9, which I described in the history, you know, supposedly meant to be the most haunted room in this hotel. So far, I haven't really felt anything unusual or anything weird. Coming to these places right at the start when you get here, it's like you don't really feel anything at the start because you're kind of excited, you're kind of taking it all in. It's like, you know, you're just walking around, you're seeing everything, you're not really thinking about it being haunted, I guess you'd say. Like the thoughts in the back of your mind, but I think you're more excited than anything. But we'll see what the vibes are like tonight. I mean, like I said, it's eerily quiet here. Even just walking around, it's very, very quiet. There's no sound, there's no anything. It's just quiet. Again, I'm here on my own tonight. There's no one else here. It's just me. So this is my first solo paranormal explore. Be one of my first proper solo paranormal investigations as well. And on top of that, if something happens, I need to sleep here. I need to stay the night. So yeah, we'll see how we crack on. Now, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't kind of myself at the moment. Now it's getting pretty real. Now that the sun has gone down, it's just this eerie silence here. I said it earlier, I'll say it again, and it's just this eerie silence. I'm going to attempt to jump into a paranormal investigation. We've got a bunch of different tools that we're going to try to use. I've got a bunch of different cameras that we're going to try to use. We've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, and over facing the other side we've got camera 5. So we've got 5 different angles set up covering literally every part of this room. The only place that we don't have cameras set up is because I literally don't have any more cameras, is the bathroom. But if anything happens, I've got 5 cameras to pick up, move around. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we can capture. I think what we'll do, we'll start off with some trusted methods first. We'll start off with some dowsing rods. We'll move into a couple of different methods. I've brought with me everything. I've got EMF reader, I've got spirit box, pendulum board, dowsing rods. I've got some cat balls here. I've got a little bit of everything. So we'll see if we can't get something with one or perhaps multiple methods here. But I think to start off with, we'll just firstly call out to any spirits that may be here. If there are any spirits here, my name is Ricky. I'm here on my own tonight. I'm here to stay the night. And I'm here to find out a little bit more about whoever may still be here. I'm here to find out a little bit about whoever may still be here. There are rumors, there have been stories that have been told by multiple people over the years about this building, that there are presence of something in this room, something in this building. This room in particular, there have been many stories told. So if you're here with me tonight, don't feel shy, don't feel scared, don't be afraid. Just simply like to get to know you, perhaps find out a little bit more about you, Perhaps find out why you still haunt this place or why you still linger here. I can share your story to a lot of people. If I can help you perhaps move on. But most importantly, I'd like to know your story, and I'd like to get to know you. I'm going to be using a bunch of different methods, a bunch of different tools tonight, which you'll see some of them laid out in front of me. If at any time throughout the night, feel free to interact with any of them. I'll be sure to describe all of them as I begin to use them, and if you'd like, you can use your energy to interact with them as tools to communicate with me. If you need energy as well, there are cameras and devices all around this room you're able to draw energy from. You're also able to draw energy from me. And again, any of these devices in this room, anything that you're able to draw energy off, if you feel like you need to, you're more than welcome to. Alright. If there are any spirits here, I'm using these dowsing rods here. I'll use them in a way that you're able to communicate with me. If you'd like to speak, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. If you could move the rods in the direction that I ask, that way I know that you'd be answering my questions. If there are any spirits here, are you able to cross these rods over in front of me, please? Again, if there are any spirits here, my hands are just pulsing right now. It's kind of, you get that feeling like two magnets pushing on each other. It feels very strong right now. Just pulsing over and over again. So if there are any spirits here, are you able to cross these rods over in front of me? Are you able to let me know that you're here? Again, there's no need to be shy. Cross these rods over. Let me know that you're here. Thank you very much to whoever crossed the rods. To the spirit I'm communicating to, are you here with me in this very room? If so, are you able to widen the rods all the way back to my body for me, please? If you're here in this room with me, are you able to widen both rods all the way back to my body, please? Let me know that you're here. That's it, don't be scared. Don't be shy. Widen them all the way back to my body if you're here. Nice and slow. You can go at your own pace. Perhaps you haven't spoken to anyone for a long time. That's fine as well. I don't mean you any harm. Push these rods back to my body if you're here. That's it. So you're here with me in this room. Are you able to point the rods to where exactly you are? Just so I have a bit of an idea. Kind of feels strange talking to an empty room. If you're able to perhaps let me know the direction where you are, I'd be able to talk directly to you perhaps. You're able to point both tips to where you're standing or where you're sitting. Again, don't be shy. Point both rods to where you are. In the chair to my left. Thank you very much for pointing the rods to you. They're sitting right in the chair next to me. You guys can see probably on these cameras, this chair just to my left. Ironically, it's right where camera 2 is. Thank you very much for pointing the rods to you. it's kind of unusual. I put this chair facing me, but it's almost set up as if you're doing an interview. I could have put this chair anywhere in this room, facing any direction, any way. Yet I have it pointing directly to me, set up almost like I'm giving an interview with someone. It's just a strange feeling. Because every time I look at the chair, it's almost as if you can feel like there's something there or someone there. It's just an unusual feeling. To the spirit that's here to my left, that's with me in this room, I'd like to get to know you a little bit more. If that's okay. I appreciate you showing me where you are. That's weird. Movie stopped recording on camera 2. Hold on. Let me sort this out. That's so weird. So we just had camera 2 stop recording. Again, all the memory cards aside from camera 4 over here, which is the camera I've been filming all my B-roll and everything on today, everything's been formatted. All the GoPros, this camera here. I've formatted every single card right before starting filming today. So, that's weird. Don't know why it stopped recording. Continue. So again, to the spirit that I was just communicating to, I'd like to ask a few more questions about you. I would like to get to know you a little bit more. Are you able to tell me if you're a male or a female? If you're a male, are you able to point both rods to my right-hand side? And if you're a female, are you able to point the rods over to my left-hand side for me? So again, if you're a female, are you able to point both rods to my left? And if you're a male, both rods to my right? It's a female. Thank you very much. Can I ask you, there was a lady who holds a lot of significance to this building. Her name was Emily. She died peacefully and her ashes were scattered here in the gardens just outside this room. Is that who I'm speaking to? Is your name Emily? If it is, can you cross these rods back over in front of me, please? Am I speaking to you, Emily? Cross these rods over in front of me if that's you. I'm not here to hold any power over you. I'm not here to control you in any way. I'm just here to know you. Just here to find out more about your story. You don't have to fear giving me your name. You don't have to be scared at all. I've given you my name. It'd be nice to know yours. Am I speaking to Emily? If so, can you cross these rods over in front of me? That's it, nice and slow. The rods are pulsing a lot. It's like pushing and pulling a magnet back and forth on the rod. It's just pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Emily, is that you? Perhaps you don't have to give me your name now, Perhaps you can give it to me in a little bit if you feel more comfortable. But to the spirit I'm communicating to, did you die here by any chance? I'd like to understand why your spirit is still here. If you died here, are you able to widen both rods all the way back to my body? Guys, one sec. This light, whatever is here with me, is draining batteries or is doing something, because this light is a brand new battery and these batteries are humongous. This here, look how dead it is already. And these batteries are massive. You can see the size of the battery. Give me one moment. I'm going to change this battery. I'm going to leave everything running. So again, to the spirit I was communicating to, I was wondering, did you perhaps pass away here? If so, are you able to widen both rods all the way back to my body? I'm curious. Are you perhaps Emily's mother that I'm communicating with? I do believe that Emily was caring for you up here while you were in old age. I believe you did pass away here as well. Your family speaks that you all loved it up here in the mountains and that this is your true home. Are you perhaps Emily's mother? You able to cross these rods for me? So it's not Emily. Thank you very much for crossing the rods. Her name is in this book, actually. I read it earlier. Let me see. To Mary. Mary is Emily's mother's name. Mary, is that you sitting to my left? If so, are you able to make just the rod in my left hand point to your direction? You can't get any more accurate than that. Hello, Mary. Thank you for coming out and communicating with me. Man, that's crazy. Must be what they said in the history. Your surviving family members have basically said that yous loved it up here in the mountains, that this is where yous would love to stay forever. Is that why you've chosen to stay here in the afterlife? Is that why your spirit lives on here? Because you have so much love for this place? So are you able to cross the rods in front of me? Have you chosen to reside here because this was your favourite place? Your favourite place in the whole world to be? If so, can you cross these rods? Mary, perhaps you're stuck here, stuck in a loop, replaying an event over and over again, and that's why you can't move on. I've asked this question to many spirits I've spoken to, and I'm curious, is that what's happening to you? Are you perhaps stuck here, reliving an event or reliving a memory over and over again? If so, are you able to widen both rods back to my body? Are you stuck here? Every single time I've asked this question, I've gotten the same answer, and it's a yes. And it brings me closer to believe that there are rumors that some spirits are trapped here in places where not always it's a traumatic experience, but sometimes it could be something happy or peaceful which they felt comfort in, but as if they're trapped in a memory, in a loop, in a cycle over and over again. And I always get the same answer, and it's always a yes. Mary, is that correct? That some spirits are trapped in loops? It's already answering. Are you able to move just the right rod all the way to my right, if that's correct? That some spirits are trapped here in loops, not just in this location, but all around the world, due to traumatic experiences or perhaps very strong memories. Are you able to move the right rod to my right, if that's correct? Very slow. Wow. You know, it makes me really sad thinking about that. It really does. You know, I don't know if there's a way for spirits to move on from those events, but it really does make you sad. I remember the one investigation that really hit me more than any when we found out about this was down at Deep Creek Reserve, and Brendan and I went and investigated there. I think it was kind of one of the first times we sort of asked this question and got a very strong response from it. But it is sad that they're stuck. I would only hope that in your case, Mary, it's a happy memory for you, not a traumatic one. I'm curious. I want to see if this EMF reader picks up anything on the chair where Mary's sitting. I'm just going to leave that running to the side if there's definitely something there. Definitely something. I'd like to give a go to the spirit box, see if perhaps I can pick up any more communications, maybe sentences or something that's a little bit more descriptive than just the dowsing rods themselves. I'll give this a try and we'll ask a few more questions to you, Mary. The device in my hand is something called a spirit box. What it's going to do is scan through frequencies in reverse. You're able to communicate through this device as if you were just talking to me, as if we're sitting right next to each other as we are now. Guys, that EMF reader is going nuts right now. Hopefully one of these cameras can see it, but it is just constantly spiking. Right. Mary, are you able to tell me a little bit more about yourself? Are you able to describe the loop in which you're stuck in? Is the loop in which you're stuck in, is it a happy memory? Or is it a sad memory? Are you able to tell me the year in which you passed? Wow, it's very active. Are there any other spirits here, Mary? Or are you the only spirit here with us? That EMF is going crazy, and this camera's about to die as well. That camera just died. Yeah, again, this camera's just about to die. It's a brand new battery as well. That camera's about to die too. Yep, there we go. That battery's just died on us. Jeez, man. Mary's really drawing a lot of energy from all these devices here. Give me a moment. Let me change this battery. Holy. So again, we understand that we are communicating with Mary, who was actually Emily's mother. I don't know a lot about Mary, to be honest. The information I did read kind of prior to coming here was a lot more focused on Emily rather than Mary. But there was one interesting thing I did read in the history from Emily's son saying that, he feels as if every member of the family who dies returns to the mountain, which is interesting reading that because it makes me feel as if, what if they all return here as their family home? What if there's multiple spirits here? Look, like as I'm saying this, guys, as I'm saying this EMF is going nuts. Hold on. As I was literally saying that, it was just spiking straight to orange. It makes me think, are there multiple spirits here? Is it perhaps like a place where they're all returning to? Makes me wonder. I'll give a try to the pendulum board now. I'm going to rearrange the cameras just so they can see the pendulum board a little bit better. They can see what's going on. We'll give that a try, see if we can get any more answers. The pendulum board will probably give me the most accurate answers I find out of any method of communication I've got here tonight. Just because of the fact that it's able to spell me out perfect words, give me days, years. For me, it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment when I use to investigate. So I think I'll rearrange some of the cameras just to see the pendulum board a little bit better. And what we'll do is we ask a couple of questions on here, try to find out a little bit more about Mary, or try to find out a little bit more about this place, or perhaps why they're stuck here in this loop. Anyways, let's rearrange the cameras, let's get going. As you guys can see as well, I've got multiple cameras set up. I've got one up here, one just in front of me, and one facing the pendulum board. I know there's a lot of people that speculate the pendulum board, but guys, I don't know the answers. I don't know what the pendulum board is going to tell me. I have no idea. For me, when it starts swinging, it's all new to me. I don't even know the questions I'm going to ask until I pull the pendulum board out. Usually I have a general idea of what I'd like to find out, but it's not like I sit here with a script in front of me. And I mean, how can I physically move the pendulum to where I want it to go? Like, I would have to be moving my hand forward and back, left and right, to actually make the pendulum go to where I want it to, which is, I mean, you would see it on the camera really obviously. You'll see, like, I hold my hand as still as I possibly can, and I try not to move it at all. And you guys will see in just a moment. To the spirit that I was communicating to Mary, who I was just communicating to, are you still here with me? Yes. Mary, are you able to tell me the year in which you passed away? You're able to move the pendulum to the letters, to the numbers on the board, sorry, and are you able to let me know the year in which you pass? Seven. $78. Mary, are you trying to say 1978 by any chance? I don't think it would have been the 80s, like the 1800s. It definitely would have been the 90s, 1900s. Mary, is the year you're trying to say perhaps 1978? Is that the year in which you passed? Yes. Mary, did you pass here at the Manor? If you did, are you able to spin the pendulum clockwise for me? Did you pass away here in this building? Look at that. Mary, are you able to let me know which room you passed away in? Are you able to swing the pendulum to the numbers on the board and let me know in which room you passed away in? Like, you can't even make that up. Are you guys seeing that? That's a number 9. That is number 9. Tell me you guys are seeing that on the camera. Mary, if you passed away in this very room that I'm sitting in right now, in room number 9, are you able to swing the pendulum anti-clockwise for me? You guys can see my hand, like, it is not moving. So she passed away in 1978 in this very room number 9. Did you pass away in the bed over to my left-hand side? Is that where you passed away? Yes. Did you pass away peacefully, Mary? If so, are you able to swing it all the way up to Europe for me on the board? If you passed away peacefully, are you able to swing it all the way to where it says Europe on the board? All the way to the top for me? Put all your energy into it. Make it touch Europe for me. Guys, I am keeping my hands so still. Are you able to swing it harder for me? Able to swing it all the way to Europe? So Mary, if you passed away peacefully, can I ask, did you remain here in the manor, in this building, because you knew that this is where your daughter would reside once she passed? Am I correct in saying that? Is that why you chose to stay here? Man, that's actually really sad, seriously. So you knew that when you were passing, you knew that you'd stay here because this is exactly where your daughter would like to be. Tell me, is Emily with you? Is she here with you in the afterlife? Are you able to stop swinging the pendulum and hold it directly over the eye in the middle of the board if you and Mary are together in the afterlife? Man, that is so accurate. Is Mary here? Is Emily here with us tonight as well? Or is it just you? Yes. So Emily's here as well. Did Emily pass away here as well? We understand that her ashes were scattered in the garden just out here. Yes. Are you able to tell me which room your daughter Emily passed away in as well? Like, you can't make that up. It's number 9 again. Are you able to swing the pendulum forward and backwards for me if you and your daughter both passed away in this exact room? Yes. Thank you very much for communicating with me, Mary. You've been extremely active tonight. Been a pleasure to talk to. Mary, is there more spirits here than just yourself and Emily? Is your husband here as well? Are there other members of your family here too? Or is it just you and your daughter? Six. Are you trying to tell me that there are 6 spirits here? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to say there's 6 spirits here with us? Mary, I think I already know the answer to this. But are you quite peaceful here right now? Are you both in peace? Yes. A lot of people have had interactions here with what they would call spirits or ghosts. Were those interactions with yourself and Emily? It's a very prominent yes. Were you trying to scare them, perhaps? If so, are you able to swing the pendulum clockwise? Or if you were just simply trying to have a conversation with them, are you able to spin it anti-clockwise? Conversation. I didn't think that they were harmful or anything. That's very nice of you. I'm just trying to have a conversation with them. I understand some people can be quite scared of the unknown. Are you able to tell me how long ago it was since you last spoke to someone? How many years ago was it in which you last spoke to someone? 1 and 9, perhaps 19. If you're trying to say 19 years, are you able to swing it to the letter Y? Is that what you're trying to say? 19 years? If so, can you swing the pendulum to Y? Man. It's crazy. So it was 19 years ago that in which you last spoke to someone. Man. I can't help but feel sad. You know, she stayed here knowing that her daughter would come here so that they can be together again. You know, since coming here today, even at the start of the day, I didn't feel as if this place was harmful or scary at all. But it did feel very peaceful. And I've been saying that throughout the day. I can understand why they chose to stay here. But I think I'm going to call the investigation here, guys. I think I know what I need to know. I don't feel scared here. I don't feel like I'm in danger. But like I said, I do feel peaceful. Thank you very much, Mary, for communicating with me. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for sharing your lovely story with me. I appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to talk to me, and I appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to communicate. I do hope that you and your daughter continue to live a peaceful life in your afterlife. I hope that you can stay here in happy memories for all eternity. And I hope that you have truly found peace. Thank you again for communicating with me. Man. That's crazy. So it's 3 a.m. It's 3:04 a.m. right now. Got up to check the GoPros. Both dead. I haven't really slept. I've been pretty much awake most of the time. It's absolutely belting down rain outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the mic, but it has just been absolutely pouring down rain. I don't know if you can hear it. It's pretty damn loud, but I don't know if the mic will pick it up. But yeah, no weird feelings so far. Nothing weird, nothing out of the ordinary. Again, just pretty much been awake most of the night. But yeah, anyways. See what happens. A couple more hours till morning. Have a shower, get up. Absolutely starving. Go off and get some breakfast somewhere, but thought I'd check in. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Following my investigation, I decided to hit the hay. My night was spent tossing and turning, getting very little sleep. Apart from that, I experienced no strange events throughout the night or no unusual feelings. Around 9 AM, I packed up all my gear and decided to head back home. The manor was nothing short of an amazing stay. My investigation was touching and sad, and I'm so grateful to have been able to share this story with you all. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.